Tickle through, they see me coming through. So now there ain't some soon. A bag of BE2 and you ain't nothing new. Same old attitude. Very bullish, yes, it's true.
Sir Vic in the house.
We got limit orders coming through. Make sure my needs met the only way I'm going in. If the profit's decent, it's no joke, I ain't eating. If the news is recent, I might have to yeet in. The charts are going crazy, don't need a reason. Oh, simple, it ain't all season. Oh, simple, it ain't all season. Oh, simple, it ain't all season. Oh, simple, it ain't all season.
All right. Just play one more song so we can grab some coffee, right? And get our XRP song up too. Let's go ahead and do that. You guys leave a comment below. Repost the room if you want to. Let's go. The birds are still awake too. We got to get those guys to sleep. They're being a bit too bullish today, aren't you? All right, let's get this going. Why no sound here? Oh, we're off. Here we go.
Feeling, yeah, multiply cause I need it, yeah, just the record where I see it, yeah, changing up my energy, no more time for enemies, I just want my money stacked up like a centipede, need a glass of tea, candlestick torpedo, never sip on lean, though, I just see my green, pour up, plata, I just need a casa. Hit the Megalodon's phone and we link mañana. Pour up plata, I just need the casa. Hit the Megalodon's phone and we link mañana. I just made some XRP, yeah. Stacking money to the ceiling, yeah. Multiply cause I need it, yeah. Just the record where I see it, yeah. Wake up, bro, my pastel, then I get my workout. Dreaming where the jets go, the city's where I rap now. Feeling like it's techno, the way she splits her legs, wow. Time for me to sweat, yo, I feel it from the sex now. Pour up, plata, I just need a casa. Hit the Megalodon's phone and we link mañana. Pour up, plata, I just need a casa. Hit the Megalodon's phone and we link mañana. I just made some XRP, yeah. Stacking money to the ceiling, yeah. Multiply cause I need it, yeah. This the record where I see it, yeah. Pour up, plata, hit the Megalodon's phone. Pour up, plata. Hit the Megalodon's phone and we link mañana. I just made some XRP.
All right. Tick, are you here?
Yes.
Or are you?
Yes.
Let's
Good
go.
morning.
Let's go. Let's hook everything up. You guys, it's probably not going to be a busy space today because guess what? X was glitching heavily. I see people giving up for today and being on X, right? So I'm already amazed that we could open a space because there was a whole outage. And so you might see some posts of people being like, "Hey, am I back or what?" Right?
Mm-hmm.
After the 2-day glitching that has been going on X, it hasn't stopped. Today there was like a major outage, and now everything seems to be returned to normal. So I guess we're gonna be good. Yeah, but it might have affected a lot of people and be like, yeah, well, I'm checking out because it's weekend, and
Mm-hmm.
X is not working anyway. So but I'm happy to see Sir Vic in the house. Sir Vic, how are you doing? Hands up. Yeah. So that's going on. So spaces are glitching. There was glitching in space when I was in the crypto moonlight this morning, heavily glitching. So that's why I haven't invited or touch base with projects at all because I don't know if I can give them a platform that is working at the moment. So we're gonna just be us, and of course we're gonna uh, talk about some updates on that CETUS thing that has been going on, which there's really not much to update on. We're gonna look at the market a little bit, the bullish things that are gonna come this week for crypto in a whole. And of course, we're gonna discuss more about that monad because you guys, the grapevine is grapevining, right? And I'm hearing things, and as soon as I hear elite private groups start to talk about monad, I'm getting bullish. There's actually projects that are having done a lot right before that are eyeing that monad, and they are in preparation for that mainnet launch. So I'm just like, kind of a little bit blown away by all of this. So yeah, it gets more bullish. The days are coming. So go ahead to do your faucet thing, which I'm going to do straight away because I'm bullish on it,
There we
extremely
go.
bullish on it after a VC meeting today. Discussing that whole monad and hearing somebody echoing information back to me. And this is what I like to see about bullish new later ones, right? I need to see the right people that I know in this space without me prompting them tell me something about monad, and then I can go like, look, dude, I'm already on a test net, don't know what you're talking about. I'm
Hmm.
already there. While it's always early, I like to be early. We need to have that opportunity, right? I need front row seats. I want to go down that roller coaster, and with my hands up on the front, going like, yeah, pump my
Hmm.
bags. Take what's up with you this morning.
Uh, Not a whole lot. I was working on some animation stuff using the new VO3 by Google, which is incredible. It's I've barely even like messed with it at all, but the I'm a huge fan of AI and constantly using the new models and everything. And so this week has been an exciting week in AI. I know that this little space isn't about AI,
Oh yeah, but
but
we
there,
can talk about
yeah,
AI tokens because
yeah,
that is exactly why they are so bullish. That narrative so bullish,
yep,
right?
yeah,
Because a lot of people are bullish on it AI. Now there is, I think, some quality filtering that we need to do there because not every AI is as bullish as it
mm-hmm,
sounds. But look, I know when things get crazy in crypto, people are gonna say, "Who cares?" Right? If it has AI in the ticker, they're buying, right? That's just gonna be a thing, and they're like, all right, does it have an AI agent, even if it isn't much, right? I will run with that. And so AI is going to be a massive massive narrative just because of that. So you saying you're bullish on AI and a lot happened this weekend, well, guess what, some AI tokens were actually heavily trending. The whole AI crypto word was heavily trending, and that's just because of that, right? So what you're saying, it kind of makes sense, and in the
mm,
context of things.
yeah, yeah. Claude released a new model, Claude
Yeah.
4.0 Sonnet, and then also Google had some releases. They did VO3, and they have this workspace. It's let me see, it's labs.google.com. So if you go to labs.google.com, you can
Hmm.
use the filmmaking tool called Flow, and you can use this to
Yes.
create animations, do text to video, and create whole scenes. And it's
That's
pretty
crazy.
pretty powerful tool. And so I look at this as like a tool for optimizing my Twitter and websites and stuff like that. But I can add animations and make it that much more visually appealing. So it's pretty cool. I recommend looking into it if you want to make your X page look a little prettier, have some more
Oh
animated
well,
posts.
I need a new banner, but yeah, I kind of had this thing this today where I wasn't trading and spending a little bit more time just in house getting everything here straightened out. I run a tight pirate ship.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, if I'm not trading, then let me just plug out a little bit of everything Web3 for a little bit. But yeah, I couldn't help myself but looking at some things and talking about some things. So so that happened. But yeah, I need a new banner tick.
Yes. Okay. Um, I do need to get another one going for myself too.
I'm joking. Yeah, I need to get on it. I need to get to work tomorrow and do all that. Meanwhile, yes, of course, X has been down today for a longer, for, well, if it's an hour, people are really saying it's pretty long. So I'm not expecting a big audience today. Again, people kind of gave up on X altogether. Be like, yeah, it's the weekend's not working. It was like a big outage not too long ago, and so that's why I say you might see some posts on your timeline going like, yeah, are we back? Can anybody see me?
Hmm.
And I probably, it has still to do with what happened yesterday. I think it's related to that. But yeah, we're just waiting, and we're just showing up on the weekend as well, you guys. So we're here. If you want to come up on stage and join the conversation, if you want to shield something or shield yourself, you're more than welcome to. The live stream is up. It's up here in the pinned post. And Fox is on stage with us. Hello, Fox. How you doing?
Good afternoon, good evening to everybody. Good morning, wherever you are in the world right now. Thank you so much for having me on stage. Fox, how are we doing today, Wilder? Tick, you guys good?
Yes.
Yes.
Great to
Well, it's
see
been
you.
kind of a day. Yeah, good to see you, Fox. It's been kind of a day. Fox, I think I gather you're back in your hometown from being away for a long time. So you're setting things up, and so you might not know that X was going crazy, Bitcoin was going crazy, and with that, we're gonna look at in the market a little bit. So let's do some market talk here. Let's go ahead and look what's going on. Well, nothing has changed much. That retesting, that didn't go too far. So let me look on a lower time frame and see actually what we exactly did. So yes, well, Lam is here in the audience, and I called it again. 106.8 was that retouch. That's what we needed for another uppy. Now I'm not gonna say we are not going there again. We might go there again, right? Just remind yourself everything will still be looking hella bullish, even though that might happen. We might go there again to retouch it some more. It's retouching that support. So we flipped a little here nor there. We flipped neutral on the hour. However, on the longer time frames, we are still hella bullish. Actually, if volume comes in on Sunday, we might actually do a pump on Sunday. That's what it looks like to me. But this is all volume depending, of course. And the 3 hour alpha, yes, that 3 hour alpha is saying that to me as well. So if volume comes in, we are pumping somewhat on Sunday. Are we then going to do 200K Bitcoin? No, possibly we're going to go back to. Let me see if I can find the wick for that.
You were saying like 96 or something, right?
Nah, usually it's on that second wick. So I would say we pumping back to like 110.5,
Oh,
something in that range. We can do that tomorrow, right?
right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
As it comes back
And
up.
then,
Yeah.
yep. Yeah. Like it's gonna bull flag a little bit, sideways down channel.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, sideways down channel
Yeah.
to make us more bullish on the higher time frames, right? Because we needed to relax that freaking RSI. So either we're gonna go to do that, but if volume keeps on lacking, we might do a retest too. And then I am looking at that 106 again, right? It kind of has a gravity towards that. Might need to retest that a little bit more. It can even retest as far as 102, and we still be good. We still be very bullish. Yeah, a little less bullish when that happens, right? That delays a few things.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm not. Yeah, it would be a zone, but it would be, for me. It looks unlikely there. So it's
So
just that. Yeah.
you don't expect like a dramatic pullback then down into the
No.
90s? Okay,
No.
cool. Cool.
No.
Yeah, I was
No.
listening to Bankless yesterday, and one of the
Yeah.
yeah, I like because I
No.
like listening to everyone's opinion and kind of like
Sure.
it's food for thought. But one of the guys was talking about how he expects it to go back into like the like the 90s range, like 95,
Yeah.
96. And I was thinking to
No.
myself, I'm like, damn, that would be a okay.
No, I know what he's looking at, right? I
Uh
see that
huh.
200 EMA on the daily. That's what he's looking at, and that says if we fall
Yeah.
down, we can fall down as far as 95.6. And
Yeah.
that 95.6, I've been having saying that number earlier, a few weeks back, right? How that
Right.
was a resistance,
Mm-hmm.
and it hasn't been retested as support yet. So I see where he thinks that might be going there.
Right, right. Yeah,
I
as we
don't see it
consolidate
going.
back into that zone. Yeah, but you think that we'll have a bull flag, it'll consolidate in a channel down to the right and
Oh,
then it'll
yes.
rip back
Well,
up, yeah?
before it reaches the 200 EMA, and that's the one that he sees because
Mhm.
that's where his target is. I can clearly see that. I know what
Yeah.
he's trying to say here. I see it too. I don't see it being likely because there is that 100 EMA before the 200 EMA that has been showing strong support. So that is the one that I called on 102 in the 102 zone and not in the 95.6.
Mm.
So yes, I see what he is trying, but there is a massive support zone before we go there. I would have had it be bullish if it already retested that 95.6 as support, but it's kind of, it doesn't need to. See, that I know what he sees, but it doesn't need to. So there are exceptions here to the rule.
Mhm.
And if I see that we came down on that daily RSI, we came down halfway in the timeline already. The timeline is already at 47 points, right? So it came down almost half to the bottom in this little tiny move down. So I don't see 95.6, right?
Mm.
That's just me. I see where he comes from. I would trade on that. That would be an awesome entry again. Uh, but I think it's wishful thinking
Mhm.
as it looks right now. And not gonna lie, I'm pretty good at calling levels for Bitcoin. I toot my own horn. But yeah, also because now I'm getting a little bit bull bias, right, in my own mind because I am looking for arguments to make another all-time high on that Bitcoin, and so we need to see moves that it's doing right now, and a move back to 95. Then I'm gonna be sorry, guys. Then we're not gonna make another all-time high before summer, and we're gonna move sideways down, and then it's gonna be very disappointing because we did make an all-time high, but was it a good all-time high? No, it was kind of like an underwhelming all-time high for Bitcoin, even though the news was very bullish and stuff, right? It was kind of underwhelming. We expect now more. And is that more happening? Yes, but in order for it to happen, it has got to do some things. And it's got to hold that this floor. And we can retest that 106.8 again. That's all going to be fine. But if we're going to go and be shut down to 95, you can forget about going to 130 before the summer. That's out of the equation then, right?
Mm.
Uh, it would make a nice pattern for a good setup again in October, right? It's the end of September, October. It would be setting itself up for a good, decent run. The pattern will look actually a little bit better than it does now for that then. But yeah, I'm looking for that 130K Bitcoin that everybody's screaming about, and I'm trying to gather some evidence in the chart to support that. And there is evidence in the chart to support that. Although for me, it's still 60-40 right now. um, I can go to 70% maybe if I, so dig for it. Right?
Mm.
If I dig for arguments. But yeah, we don't trade the news, but there is something bullish coming for Bitcoin. Of course, there's going to be the Bitcoin 2025 on the 28th of May. So that's in 4 days from now. So that's Tuesday. And of course, JD Vance is going to be there. And I hope he's going to give us some information about these deadlines that were already set and are gone over with without information on how these things are going. So hopefully that is going to be the platform where he is going to talk about some things, right? And so I posted it already up previous before. It's on my timeline. If you want to go look for that graphic, well, you know what? I'm just going to pin it up here for you guys if you feel like you want to look at that stuff. I'm always a little worried about that stuff because that is going to be sometimes seen as a trade the news event, right? Or sell the news event in this case. And so, yeah,
I'm looking for it on your timeline.
I'm pinning it. I'm pinning it because there were a lot of posts since then. So, yeah, this is the Trump admin's big crypto moves. So these were all the good. This is a good overview of what has been done already, where the deadlines were about what and what is upcoming that we can expect some information on, right? So that's a good visual to have. Maybe just copy this picture, right, and have it somewhere if you feel like you need to refer to that, or bookmark this post and just do it that way. So that's up to you. That's just some information. We see the AI narrative really pulling up. I see TARS AI again pulling 13.9% on today, even with slight moves on Bitcoin like that. So I mean, these AIs, they're just going good, right? This is catching me. This is just going to be such a big narrative. We see. Oh, let me just check volume on Bitcoin, you guys, before I do anything else to see where we're at with that dominance. Maybe a little bit. Look at ETH. Let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin. What are you doing today? So yeah, volume definitely dropping, but price up. Bullish divergence on the volume, right? It's 28.66 billion, and then we do Ethereum. And Ethereum is half of Bitcoin, so we can then safely deduct from that the dominance is just holding up straight. Just to check what I'm saying is actually not bull caca, bullish caca. Uh, I would expect the dominance to have been remained the same as this morning was like 63. So actually, it's 64.16. This morning it was hovering around that 64. So yeah, all the time when Ethereum has half the volume of Bitcoin, kind of indicates for me that Bitcoin dominance is just stabilized. And so for today, and I think for tomorrow as well, the alts are gonna just do what Bitcoin is doing, right? So if Bitcoin is turning red, your alts will be turning red too, and then it's for you, dip buying time if you're liquid, or hodl harder time if you're not, right? Let's look on a daily for Ethereum. Looks bullish, very calm down at RSI and just slight moves that it had there. Buy signal still stands on that daily, so nothing has, it hasn't flipped full bull on the daily yet. But if it does, it's going to be an ugly rip from there. I spot some nice setups. Doge has still that nice setup, right? I'm believing this. We got hype being up 7%. There was a lot of hype around hype, hyper liquid.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so that's very bullish also, hype, right? Major things going on there. Sui is actually looking bullish. It's coming also down, relaxing some. Everything will cross back up as soon as volume comes back in. And like I said, then we have to look at Bitcoin, what's going on. Looks like we want to do some pumps on that 4 hour. So that's anywhere from, I would say, 8 to 20 hours from now. We can expect then some pumps maybe on Sunday, or if you're in a different zone in the world, maybe at night on Sunday. Uh, but yeah, that's all volume depending. You can have a great setup in the chart looking all bullish, but if volume doesn't come in, that won't play out, right? And then we're gonna have to look at something, some different moves that it does. Of course, it's a holiday weekend, so it's not gonna be busy anywhere. Probably also not in crypto. So we got to do with what we got. So that's the market talk here. Let's see if there's some. Solana looking bullish again. That 176. That's a thing for Solana, right? But also looking bullish there. Let's see if we can get some news. Yep. Oh, this maybe, but it's a little hyperbolic, but let us read anyway. So XRP flashes a signal that triggered the 600% rally in November 2024. After mirroring Bitcoin's strong breakout over the past week, XRP recently surged to an intraday high of 2.47 before retracing to a lower daily close. According to the crypto analyst, blah, 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 Dark Defender, Only in crypto can somebody be called Dark Defender and have it being called a analyst, just like the guy Avocado last time.
Hmm.
XRP has once again produced a rare golden cross on its weekly stochastic RSI, an event that last occurred on November 4th, 2024. That signal directly preceded XRP's explosive 600% rally, and its reappearance points to a potential emergence of a similar trajectory for the crypto. Notably, the appearance of the new RSI cross coincides with the elimination of long standing weekly resistance trend line after XRP broke to 2.59 on May 14th. The analyst chart clearly highlights this breakout with a bright green trend line now breached and a bullish pin bar candlestick forming just above it. Yes, it has a great setup right now. But hey, look, 600%. Yes, the setup is there. Now the volume needs to come in, right? So if the market is not going to have any volume, and we're getting closer to that summertime, might I add, you can have a great setup and a golden cross on it, RSI. But the pump is depending on the volume. So how high we go depends on that volume. And of course, they can say that it had that stochastic RSI, but Bitcoin was also pumping heavily around that time. And, making a convincing all-time high, which we didn't now. So there is some context in which this might not be playing out to the 600% that they say it will. So always when you read things like that, you got to do your own thingy with it.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. You got some tickers you're eyeballing.
I mean, I did want to talk about Deep Book, maybe. I think that's like the only ticker that I've been like really looking at. And then of course, it just basically a lot of stuff on Sui. But yeah, Millie,
Yes.
Nami, um, and
You
uh,
might
and
want to
Deep is
look
the
at.
new one. I just started.
No, Deep was actually the first one.
Oh, I mean, it's
Um,
the new. It's my most recent purchase. I mean,
oh, your recent purchase, yeah.
yes.
So Deep is the liquidity layer for Sui, but you might also want to look at Walrus. You want to look at Navi. You want to look at Cent. Sui Lend is from the same team as Solend, right? A
Mm-hmm.
lending platform. And but yeah, if we just to take up Deep Book now. So Deep Book is a decentralized central limit order book built on Sui blockchain, serving as a native liquidity layer for the Sui DeFi ecosystem. It facilitates high throughput, low latency trading with settlement times around, 390 ms. It's like freaking as fast as light, offering a transparent on-chain trading experience similar to centralized exchanges, but fully decentralized, right? So Deepbook enables trading through that model, supporting market and limit orders for buyers, bids, and sellers' asks. It aggregates orders to match trades efficiently, ensuring minimal slippage and deep liquidity. That's why they call it deep, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's more the ticker. There's more to that. So Deep token, native token, and that is $deep. It launched on October 14th, 2024. I'm very, very grateful that I was around for that launch. With
Mm.
a maximum supply of 10 billies, it's used for trading fees, pool creation, governance, and staking, offering rebates and free discounts to liquidity providers and traders. Leveraging Sui parallel execution and low transactions fees, DeepBook supports high frequency, large volume trading with predictable gas fees, unlike traditional blockchains where fees spike during high traffic. So this ensures that it's always the same. The development initially by MoveX and supported by Miston Labs, which Miston Labs is Team Sui, right? DeepBook is open source and permissionless, encouraging community contributors via Sui improvement proposals. So that is uh, the how do you say information on that? Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And so I'm also wondering, there's those other two that are similar. It's Scallop and um,
Oh, one more
the
thing
one with
that
the
I
otter.
forgot.
Go ahead.
One more thing I forgot to tell about DeepBook, right? So, um, DeepBook has a token burning process. A portion of I'm just gonna read my notes. Where a portion of deep tokens is permanently removed from circulation with each transaction or swap on its platform. For example, since its token generation event (TGE) in October 14th, 2024, approximately 1.7 million deep tokens valued at no, that's not millions. Yeah, that's millions. I'm counting the zeros. Um, Valued at $152,000 have been burned due to on-chain activity. This reduces the total supply, which started at 10 billion. So it's actually deflationary in this way, right? So it's a
Mm-hmm.
deflationary token. So the supply will be less and less over time. And then if you set that against Sui being so popular and Deepbook being its liquidity layer, it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, yeah, makes it more bullish, right? For a
Right.
longer term hold. So yes, yeah, that's
Huh.
the additional info there. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 very bullish on that one. And then there's also Hey Doll and Scallop as well, which they're essentially aren't don't they essentially do the same thing?
Yeah.
So I'm not. That's what I want to find out is like how are they different and which one is like the best one for me because Walrus, the thing that I wasn't too crazy like Walrus is the potential it has great potential, but the thing is that for my utility, because it's more for storage for like businesses and stuff, I couldn't see myself using the tokens for the utility aspect of it. So I was thinking of maybe trying to find something that is more, I don't know, more that fits me more. What kind of like what I'm looking for, whatever that is.
Okay. So Scallop. Scallop is what was it again? It's like a protocol uh, for peer to peer money market, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like Walrus' storage system. It is a lending and borrowing, and
Oh yeah.
yes, it's something different. So Walrus right now, I'm not sure. So correct me if I'm wrong, but in my information, Walrus is the only one in its utility at the moment.
Oh.
And but Scallop also has integrated that debook, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
enhance its liquidity for its lending pools because it's a lending uh, platform, lending and borrowing, right?
So yeah, and so though I've never actually done a lending platform like Avi is one of
No,
the most
me neither.
popular, and so basically there's a return. So you basically stake by lending essentially. So you hand over your Solana, and then I guess they probably give you a liquidity token as a placeholder
Yeah,
for it, and then you receive like an APY of like 12% a year or something like
yes,
that
yes.
for handing over your.
On Scallop, you're using a bucket. So this is again the water theme, right? You earn interest with your bucket or borrow against collateral, right? So zero fee flash loans type of deal. And yeah, it has a total. Let me look at the total supply: 250 million, so not too much, and 45% is that is allocated to liquidity mining, and it has that deep book integration. So that is where Scallop is different from Suient, from Cent, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they are in the same utility group on Sui. So not as Walrus, which is that storage.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
And then uh, let's see.
So for buying and just holding, if I just want my because if I don't want the Sui tokens just to sit there and I want them to potentially have a higher return, I might be better off holding Deep Book over Sui. That's kind of like a no-brainer, right?
Uh, well, depends, because yeah, my bags in Sui are heavier than in Deep, because if Sui pumps, I will rolling over these profits into and add to the positions that I already have.
Mm.
which I have a position in deep.
Right. So that
And
could be a good
so,
strategy, taking profit into
yes,
deep.
yes,
Okay. Okay.
yes, because that keeps your portfolio risk managed up to the
Mm-hmm.
point where you can rotate that out. So you're taking more risk as soon as you go into the lower cap
Right.
utility
Right. It's a
there.
lot more volatile.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So here's what I do, right? I have the SUI bag, and then as soon as SUI has its profit, and I'm thinking it's time to roll over, 70% of that bag will be rolled over and added to positions in that ecosystem, while 30% is going back to my liquidity.
Right. Because if it
And because
drops 30%, then you're only losing 30% of the profits you took from SUI,
yeah,
essentially. Yeah. Yeah. It's
yeah.
less of a hit.
So yes, and I have liquidity back because this is going to be then a time in the market. If we're talking about alt season, this is going to be a time in the market when Bitcoin flips bear. So normally my rule is to buy Bitcoin with profits, but not in that time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm because Bitcoin will be weak, dominance will be dropped on Bitcoin, so Bitcoin has a weaker position against the market. If you quote unquote weak, right? But in that moment it will be, and then the
Relatively.
alts are
Yeah.
going to have their run, right? So 70% of is going of that profit, but I'm buffering myself already with taking out some liquidity already, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
am immediately in good profits and I can only make more, and that's how I think you risk manage your portfolio pretty tight, and you're always good to go. So I do have positions in there already, and I'm sure the chart is going to be more up as soon as Sui has pumped, right? They
Yeah.
might pump a little bit alongside, but I would guess it's being not topped out yet. So just in case it does, I do have a little bit of a position in there already, and if I think I need to add to it and will still do a run, I will add to it and have that Sui then available to do so.
Mm.
So, and meanwhile, before all of that party starts, uh, I am still risk managed. If something happened too deep, my biggest bags are still in SUI.
Mm-hmm.
See, so not that I think that, but you got to risk manage yourself a little bit there,
Yeah. Cool. Well, then
just in
I
case.
am on the right path then because
Yes, you
I
are in
just
the right.
I just picked up a little bit of deep just because I'm gonna
Yeah,
DCA into deep, and I just wanted to
yeah,
make sure that like I'm kind of following along the right path because like as because the
yeah,
last couple of days it was down 8%, down
yeah, yeah,
13%, and so I'm
yeah.
like okay cool I'm just gonna acquire a little bit, but
Yeah.
I want to kind of make
Just
sure that
realize,
yeah
yeah, just realize if Bitcoin is not going to make it .com,
yeah
these alts probably are going to have a little bit of a relief rally because of that. And just make sure you take care of your bags there before the summer, because there's going to be that support that is cruising on right now. The price may be coming back to that or even lower after the summer. You see that happen in the utility a lot. That's why I say, that's why I like to have that risk management that way, if that makes sense to
yeah.
everybody.
And so and so are you saying that you think that Sui could go back down to like the $2 range?
If then, end of summer is going to be max pain. Yeah.
Mm,
And then,
gotcha.
Bitcoin can even retouch at 95.
And
But
then
this is
yeah.
all when we don't make another all-time high, right? When we go into the summer in a channel sideways, there's going to be some relief in the market, and my strategy is just to scalp, do haircuts on the bags there, because I know I need to have some more to buy that max pain at the end of summer, and then it's just a question of patience, because people will be shaken out over the summer because nothing much pumps over the summer.
Mm,
So time will shake them out, and you see that happening over the summertime. It never fails, right? The end of August, beginning of September is max pain. There's blood on the streets, and you need to buy that, right? Because that is a golden opportunity. Always wait for it to buy that blood. Um, so that is just under the scenario where Bitcoin is not going to make another all-time high. We're going to try and attack that all-time high we just printed, and we're not going to make it .com. Then that scenario will come into play. Now, if we're going to 130, we're going to be a little bit more bullish for slightly longer time, even though I see then July going to be a drop off, and for Bitcoin already at the end of June. So yeah, if we then pump, let's say, higher than the previous all-time high or the all-time high that we just printed, right? And we're gonna go to there's targets anywhere between 124 and 130. But let's say we get there, then we're gonna have a little bit more of a fun alt rally, relief rally coming from that. And then we also gotta have that then the scenario in mind is this was this the top for Bitcoin, and we got to look into that too, and that kind of depends on how that dominance is going to behave around that time. But these are two scenarios that you need to the two main scenarios that you need to watch for when it comes to your portfolio, when it comes to the alts, right? Because for Bitcoin this all doesn't matter, we're buying Bitcoin anyway whenever where the price is, right? But the your alts, yeah, you can be smart about it. Scenarios that we're looking at, right? And both of them will be fine, actually. So I don't have a problem with either. It's just that you got to respond differently, right? With either one. But we're watching Bitcoin, so we're gonna get that alpha when we get there. It needs to do a few things for a big all-time high that we need to see playing out within not too long, right? Because we're coming up on a time that is low volume time. So yeah, that's why I'm still not convinced of a 130K Bitcoin or even 124. I need to see these things playing out, doing it, right? But I'm still not 70 or 80% even on that it's going to do that. So I like to be sure. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's the scallop. Also, maybe let me pull up some um, because there's something called tugboat on Sui.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't heard of that.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, I'm like
And
right
several
now.
people are
I'm
very bullish on them.
man. So I went on Coin Codex just out of curiosity to see what its prediction for Sui is, and it's saying like $1.86 in the next month, and I'm like,
Mhm.
oh my god, there's no way. There's no. I mean, I know that Coin Codex is often wrong, but the fact that it's saying that that's what its prediction is based on probably market, it probably just looks at the chart like an algorithm and determines what direction it's going. But I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man, I hope that that's not true.
Well, what were they calling for? What target?
Well, I asked Coin Codex what the price on Sui is prediction, and so the 5 day prediction is $2.27, 1 month prediction $1.98, 3 month prediction $1.85, 6 month prediction $1.59. It's like what?
Yeah.
There's no. I
I
mean,
can
yeah.
see I can see that 3 month prediction would be right? If we go into the scenario of Bitcoin not making an all time high, we move sideways, that blood will be in the market. That's why I say scalp, I cannot I cannot financial advice anybody, so I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do.
Uh huh.
I'm scalping my bags. As soon as that Bitcoin is for me, it's evident that Bitcoin is not gonna go to 130K. The dominance is going to drop a little. We get some rallies on the alt. I know in that time everybody's will scream, alt season is here. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to sell on these pumps and do the haircuts that I need to do. Keep them in stable coins. And then I will wait for the blood over summer. I'll be on the beach having fun, waiting for people to lose their patience and sell their bag. And then I'm going to buy your bag at the floor. That's basically the plan, right? And it's the same what happened in November, right? Big pumps. And then I know Christmas is going to be bearish for crypto, right? You sell before Christmas. And then you're going to wait and buy again, like maybe in the beginning of March. I think you're going to spend some time watching for some things to buy and opportunities in that time, right? And look around, get information, adjust portfolio plans and stuff with what you see. And then we're going to go for another round of all of that until we get to the real alt season. But I know how this plays out all too. I've been there um, way too many times, and I know there's this hopium that we're gonna pump all summer long, but just summer is just a bearish time. It's low volume time. There's always these low volume times in the market. It's in the stock market. Even gold is not moving in the summer, right? So it's nothing to do. It's just in summertime, people have other things to do, obviously.
Yeah, I
People
did.
with a lot of money, they're on vacation. They can't be bothered, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I did another audit with Grok, which I don't know how accurate Grok is with these things either, but it is it does allow you to do like crypto
Yeah, I think
questions.
what the platform that you're on doesn't integrate the scenario with Bitcoin and the
Yeah.
dominance,
Coin
and
Codex
I
is
do,
pretty
right?
bunk. Yeah, Coin Codex,
Yeah.
I don't know how it works, but if I was to guess based on its answers, I think it just uses
Mm.
an algorithm to look at like patterns in the way that the chart
Yeah.
is moving and then says, oh, it's
Yes.
been moving like this. This is how it will most
Yeah.
likely continue to
So
go.
then they're not wrong, right? There is a
Yeah.
scenario where this can play out. There's always evidence for something. It's just how likely, right? What's the percentage of the likelihood? When the bears say yes, 70K Bitcoin, 95K Bitcoin, yes, I see your levels. What's the argument for it though,
Mm-hmm.
right? What where can we support that? And then
Yeah.
when you research that, there is more evidence against it than for it. So it's always on a spectrum. We're never 100% bullish. We're never 100% sure of it pumping, and we're always not 100% sure of it dumping, right? But you're looking for, okay, the spectrum, how much percentage is it likely for this to, how likely is this to play out? That's the best that we can do in TA.
Mm.
And then you're looking at important levels, and I name these levels constantly,
Yeah.
and Bitcoin is moving on these levels constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So in that way, I have a tight grip on what Bitcoin. I've been looking at Bitcoin for years, right? So it's kind of like you feel the chart and you feel the moves that it wants to do. And
Mm.
so even for 130K Bitcoin, like I said, I'm a little bit even Steven on it. I need to see some evidence, some more evidence of that
Mm-hmm.
happening, because yeah, the even Stevenness of it all is just making me watch it a little bit more than I would usually do if I see
Mm-hmm.
more arguments, for it. So
Yeah.
I don't think that that prediction is calculating in how Bitcoin behaves because,
Mm-hmm.
again, when the dominance is stabilizing and is up, the alts are going to follow what Bitcoin is doing. That is good. It's evident. And Bitcoin looks so even Steven. So we cannot say, we can say, okay, I can see that there's definitely an argument for it,
Yeah.
but there's also a big argument against it. And these right now are a little bit even Steven. So
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
I'm
And
bullish. Yeah.
you use a lot of key words, and one of them was evidence. And it's like look at the Sui play. Like how could the price? How could it be a bearish case for Sui when the Sui you can't even buy the Sui play, right?
Oh, look,
They've
this
been
is the
sold
thing.
out.
Yeah, but look, over the summer, you forget how sentiment moves the market. And over the summer, people get so freaking bearish. You saw it in the winter too. People
Hmm.
are really emotionally affected by what's going on.
Oh
And
yeah.
why are they emotionally affected? Well, they didn't do the freaking homework. They didn't set up a good portfolio. They didn't risk manage. They neglected to do all of that. And then they blame crypto for not pumpy. What's going on? Def do something. When moon, when
Well,
exchange.
that
Somebody told me
was
there would be Lambos, right? And we get all of that again, and people just get so upset
yeah. People
because
got
we're not
pissed
talking
because
about the money.
they
Yeah,
bought $98,000 Bitcoin and then waited three
yeah,
months. And then they're like, why
yeah,
is it's only going down? And it's
exactly.
like, well, you bought at the top and
Yeah,
there needs to be a pullback from the all time high. It only makes sense. And it's like, look at the chart, look to the left, and it's
right.
like,
So
you need to
instead
spoon
of
feed this
screaming,
information.
yeah, instead of screaming like, why is nothing pumping? Instead of blaming crypto like this is bullshit and a
Look at the
scam,
reasons why,
uh,
look at the
look
evidence.
at the reasons and what you did wrong, because
Mm-hmm.
there's opportunity to make in crypto, but you did something wrong. What did you do? Okay, I top blasted. Now what? I'm gonna save myself. All right, you got to either wait if you do not have
Mm-hmm.
much money. So it meant that you did wrong. What you did wrong was you spent all your money in one
Yeah, your
go.
liquidity.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. If you
So you
couldn't
didn't
remain
stay
liquid,
liquid.
yep.
Yeah, exactly. So that's number one. That's something that you did wrong.
It's number
And we
one.
don't like
Yep.
to be, as humans, we don't like to look at ourselves and making wrong decisions or be wrong in any kind of way, right?
So we said
So
blame someone
that's self.
else.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Why did you tell me to buy that? You
Look,
know?
if you bought 50% at the top and it's now nearing the bottom and you buy 50%, you're even Steven, or
Mm-hmm.
even up on the pump.
Yep.
Yeah. Blowing gunpowder in one go is problematic. So you need to address that.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
now you have two options. Either you can, because you're stomped out. We're calling that being stomped out at the top, right? So you
Mm.
bought the top. Now you're stomped out. Price is falling. But sometimes there is always that little Hail Mary pump that comes back, that tries to come back to the previous price zone, but it does not have a lot of pull to make another all-time high.
Yeah.
What you got to do is sell 50% of that bag on that
Mm-hmm.
freaking pump, so you
Mm-hmm.
have some liquidity back. You wait for the bottom, add that to the bag, and then you're safe.
Yeah.
And your money will be back average, your bag will be looking healthy,
And then you
and
have
on the
another
first
chance.
pump you be in profit. So that is a remedy for if you're being stomped out and you top blasted like that with all you got, right?
That's the
Um,
alpha.
right?
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
that's the alpha.
For
And
sure.
then you got to sell on that pump. Don't sit there and think that it's going to make another all-time high, because probably it's going to move in a sideways channel. So, and then price will go up and down in between there, but will never go up to the point where you blasted. That is going to take um, possibly for Bitcoin sometimes months, right? And that's where that time zone comes in, where people lose patience. So let's say you don't have the alpha of evening yourself out that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And save your bag. So you sit there, top blasted, and you're just going to sit there. Well, you're going to sit there not being happy, because your bag is going to be 20-30% down. And if you gunned everything you had in it, you're not feeling good about that bag. And the longer time drags on, and this is what whales are always looking for, they're going to look for the percentage between 60 and 70% of the wallet sold at a loss before they ever freaking buy in again, because that is always an indicator the bottom is in. It is like that in the stock market, it's
Mm-hmm.
like that in crypto, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they are waiting patiently for you who top lasted and now sitting there cringe with your bag,
Yeah.
right? To sell at a loss. And then you are, with the meme, he sold pump it. Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Can you help me with something then? I want to know, can I see that with this here? I'm going to send you on Telegram. You know this one. You showed me this one. But I'm curious with this one, how can I see when the bottom is in? You were saying the people that sold for a loss. So can I see that
Yeah, the
on Dex
people who
Screener?
sold at a loss. Yeah.
Is there
That's harder. That's harder to do with these meme tokens.
Oh,
Why?
true.
Because they tend to bundle. They tend to, uh,
What's your opinion on this one though? This
so,
one this one looks like a runner though, doesn't it? Because of
mm.
the people that are kind of pushing this one.
Okay, so if you look at the wallets there, you see that whole team
Super
behind it,
bundled.
all these holders.
Uh-huh.
Uh, no, they haven't sold.
Oh, okay. So that's
Yeah.
a good sign. Very bullish.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Huh. Because I've
because
been kind of watching this one since you told me
yeah.
about it, and
Mhm.
I've just been kind of waiting for
Okay,
it, and it's been kind of chilling down here at 4.9 market cap, and I'm like,
yeah.
dude, this thing's gonna rip
Yeah.
to 100 million at some point.
Oh yeah, but they want it, right? They want that one coin to be one BTC.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
You
just
got to
keep it
be
on your watch
delusional
list.
though. That being delusional totally is so bullish in crypto.
Totally works.
Yes.
Look, that H pop, or H pop, Harry Potter, Osama,
Mm-hmm.
Sonic 10 Inu, right? Ticker
Bitcoin, yeah.
Bitcoin.
Right.
Yeah, or else I got that ticker Bitcoin was also saying like, look, this is gonna be the price is gonna be $1 for one coin of this.
One house coin.
And
A
so
house coin
one
too.
Bitcoin
Yeah.
is gonna be $1, right?
Mm-hmm.
From that meme ticker. And everybody was like, that's delusional. But look at that market cap that they reached from a 1K launch.
Yeah.
It's insane,
Yeah.
right?
Shoot for the
So that's
stars.
that delusional, yeah, that first autism token, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was saying like, hey, you can't do that, and hey, we're artistic over here. It's gonna be $1,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they got pretty damn close, and they're still not done. So so yeah, sometimes that delusional, but it's a young token. So if in any it did a rally already, and maybe you just wanna keep that on the see how that
Oh
moves.
yeah, this one's only 8 days old. That's the one you're talking about, right? The one
Yeah.
that
So
yeah, and
don't
the
don't
PNL
take
on
an
it is
entry.
insane. Have you seen the PNL on it?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Yeah. I
it's
know.
It's legendary.
Yeah. I'm having it on my watch list too. Keep an eye on it,
I was wondering when the
right?
bottom's gonna
If
be
it
in
breaks,
though.
but if it breaks out and it's gonna, I'm waiting for a possible breakout above that 0.01. A breakout past there would confirm a reversal,
Okay.
and that's where my entry then is going to be.
0.01?
Yep.
Oh, because otherwise it's just gonna be like what
Fake out could
yeah,
be a
fake
fake
out.
out.
Exactly. That's what I
Yeah.
meant to say. I was looking for the word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when it's over there with a one candle, a body of a
Right.
candle, then we can say there's a confirmed breakout, and when a breakout is confirmed, it's going. So for 80% sure it's going. So I take the trade there
And then it's
instead of
really
here.
gonna run. If it gets to
Yeah,
that point, then it's
because
really gonna okay.
this token doesn't scream DCA to me because it's too young, and I don't know anything about it.
Me neither. Yeah.
Well, something, right? It was like quote unquote alpha, but even
Right.
then, it could also be quote unquote just alpha. So take that how you will. But
Yeah.
it's too young for me to DCA, and it doesn't warrant any DCA strategy here. It can warrant entry if it is breaking out. So that's why I'm keeping it on my watch list. See what it does.
A
And if it does
huge
nothing, I
following.
never.
13,000
Yes, it has.
followers on X. Like there,
Yes, it
it's
also
got a.
has
Go ahead.
9.2 thousand holders. I'm looking
Yeah.
at that too.
Yeah, I was looking at that
Right.
too.
So sure, right? But wait for the breakout because you're not too late. You might not be catching. Okay, maybe you know you maybe some X's maybe not doing it. But if this token is gonna run, it's gonna run ugly. So wait for that breakout then to happen instead of DCA because you don't know.
Right.
And the team holds a lot. Look at the wallets, right? So if they decide to dunk, you're just back with nothing. So this doesn't warrant a DCA strategy at all. This can be a nice trade, having an entry on that breakout confirmed, and then you're good to go. It's gonna pump, so you're gonna be in profit. It warrants that, but not a DCA strategy. It's much too young for that. If you don't know team or you don't have any alpha otherwise, which I possibly could dig into, Dick, if you want me to. But
Oh, it's just one that when you're talking about like realizing the bottom by looking at who is sold for a loss.
yes,
I was wondering if
yes,
with a
this
token
looks
like
like the
this,
bottom.
if that was something you could do. But then when you kind of
Yeah.
like reminded me that with the meme token, it doesn't. The same rules of physics don't apply. So
Exactly, right?
yeah.
So that's why I say these meme tokens, if I'm bullish on it, most will just stay on my watch list. If they're especially when they're young, because they don't warrant a DCA strategy from you. It's not a utility, it's a meme. And you gotta be you time is your friend. Don't FOMO. So you have it on your watch list. If the thing breaks out, you're not too late. You're actually quite good there because you're sure, 80% sure, that you're gonna get a pump and that you'll be in profit. And if you DCA this, you're not gonna be sure if it ever pump again. Right? So we got to see some pumps back into this, and then take a huge swing trade there. That would be what I'm watching these things for.
Yeah. I
And
just
then if over time, right, over the summertime, and they're doing some bullish things, maybe, right, you do a little bit more research, that might warrant then a different strategy. But for now, no. I call no. No. And we are talking about, because I got to be honest about it, we are talking about XBT on Solana. One XBT, one Bitcoin, launch now, but one day will be in charge. That's basically their thing and has a lot of following. Um, but yeah, this is not something I'm not calling this at all, right? Something on the watch list to kind of looks bullish, has some bullishness to it. Keep it on your watch list. You can always trade it on the pump, and then you're not too late. You haven't missed anything, right? Because then you're sure that 80% it will move and your back will be up. And this is, of course, on Solana. So DCing anything on Solana is going to be a rough ride when you don't know what's going on, right? Because it's a swamp out there. So the floor is lava on Solana. Fox!
Yo, what's up? Yeah,
What's up?
love the discussion. What's up?
What's up, everybody? Let's go.
Or if you're a little bit older, like myself, then what's up?
What's up?
What's up?
I cannot even do it without hurting my throat.
Yeah,
What's
yeah, yeah.
up?
Yeah, it's
What's up?
difficult, Solana. You know, just wanted to chime in there as like I've been investing a lot in projects over there, and my project is on Solana. And if you don't know, as Wilder said, like that's like I supported the Bank of Solana. They got a digital card. I'm not sure, yeah, they built for a while, you know, and it's good. I mean, they've got lots of ranges. You can choose your positions and everything. And as Wilder said, DCing is like it's difficult because yeah, floor melts everything, face melt everything, but not in a good way. We're going to the moon, but the moon is currently south. Yes, yes, this does happen quite a lot, and it's hard. ETH is a good contender for meme coins, but also then it's a bit tricky with like nefarious contract functions and everything. But then that's just part of your own like protection and risk analysis for any project that comes up. I do like the discussion. I think that there's always a lot of opportunity out there. I see runners all the time. I see runners on ETH. I see runners on Solana. I saw like loads of runners from sub 1 million to 100 million during the bear peak. And did I ever buy one of them? No, of course not. But still, I think there is a lot of, if you get Solana right, it's a place that can go like really, really, really dementedly high, super fast. But then also it can come back down dementedly quickly and super fast. And, you know, you're just left wrecked within a few hours. So for me, I think my personal views, not financial advice, please do your own research, please come up with your own trading strategy and everything else. But for me, even though I am a holder, if I'm going into anything on Solana and it's ripping, I'm probably taking out some profit pretty quickly, like because several of my friends have had the same thing. You just get wrecked again and again. And as Wilder said, I'm not very good at risk management, and you need to look after your liquidity. You need to stay liquid. You need to have options. You need to be able to have skin in the game. And Solana's really hard to maintain skin in the game because it takes your skin away with sandpaper sometimes. You're like,
Yes.
oh, that hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, and sometimes you got to call in your stop loss and you got to get jiggy with it, right? And people have a problem with stop lossing, but you got to have a strict stop loss on Solana. Don't sit there and watch that back being written down to the ground, right? If things flip bullish there, you know, when there's no continuation on Solana, we're going down, right? People are used to trading. The trading on there is different than anywhere else. So you got to call, if you're, I don't care if you lost 20%, you got to call in your stop loss because you need some liquidity back before you lose everything. And it happens so fast that you really got to be strict with your own rules. But the problem is you're going to sit there thinking, oh, yeah, just do another pump. But when the pump is in there, it's done, over.
That's
May
funny.
never pump again.
I'll just wait for the next one. When's the
Yes,
next one coming? It's
because
waiting for a bus that's not coming.
yes, exactly, like Fox said, right? And so there will be senders left and right. And if you're not in it early, right, all you can do there is sit there, watch, and bless the people who did get in early and are heavily in profit. Don't be that exit liquidity because as soon as things start trending, when it trends for a reason. The signal here is you missed that boat. It's not the signal, get on this train, right? The signal should be, um,
Find the
you
next
know,
one.
find the
Find
next
the next
one.
one that meets that has the same qualities that make it a
Yes,
runner.
yes, exactly, exactly. But people FOMO in on volume, people FOMO in on the trends, and the trends when it's trending, something screams exit liquidity to me. If I
Yeah.
don't know the project and the token, I'm strictly talking about I don't know anything about anything. I see something going, it's on the decks, right? It's trending on decks and wherever freak it's trending, or something is catches my eye. I do not know the project, do not know what this is about, don't know the people who launched it, none of that, right? I'm just looking at it from the outside in, and but that's how they get people when it's trending. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, I need to get on this train. Well, maybe not,
Yeah.
right?
Speaking of
Maybe
that,
this is like don't get on it.
a good example of that right now is Yapper. I don't know if you've seen Yapper all over the timeline on X, but I brought it up last week because I believe
Yeah,
it was
kind of.
launched on Launchcoin, and it was like freaking ripping the day because I saw it on Bird Eye. But now I'm looking at the chart right now because it's kind of firing again right now. It had a huge leg up this morning, it looks like. And so now it's sitting at 6.2 million market cap, liquidity at 500,000. This is like that's like a very healthy looking coin. You know, it's 9 days old. This isn't, I'm not pushing this coin. I don't hold any of it, but it's just worth mentioning because this one has been performing well over this last week. But yeah, anyway. But it's a trend. We were
Yeah,
talking about
yeah.
trends, and what I was saying is that
Yes.
like so the trends,
Yes.
it's like easy come and easy go. Like they stick around for a week usually, and then they'll usually fade out. And we see that time and time again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it, right? So can it be for the long term something? Yes, but it's clearly trending tokens are usually top indicator, right?
And you know what? Actually, that
The
reminds
top
me.
is in. That doesn't mean that it will die. Could be something that could very much still be alive, but then put it on your watch list and see where it goes first. Because that trending thing and everybody talking about it, that's usually pretty much top indicate the top is in. That's an indicator for the top is in.
Mm,
And we know this with Bitcoin too. When everybody gets elated on an all-time high and very, very bullish, right? That's a top signal. When
mm-hmm,
people start to talk to you about Bitcoin in real life, and you see that more and more, and people start to send you screenshots of their wallets, top indicator. If you find yourself taking a screenshot of your wallet or start to be very bull posting about something, top indicator. You need to be selling in these pumps.
mm-hmm,
Yeah. Not buying in these pumps. So, and that's why the exit DCA strategy and your utility in your alt tokens are so important. Also, in your meme tokens, you got to be even faster with this because these pumps are quicker and don't last that long. In the utility, they will have some market structure in their legs up, right, in their waves up. So um, there it's you can exit a little bit slower, but usually you start selling in the pump and you don't need to be rotating 100% out, but you are gonna guard your liquidity. So pump 10%, not a pump 20%, not a it is still pumping. All right, I'm selling more and more towards that top. And if you keep that strategy, you will sell the most near the top. So you'll be in banger profit,
mm,
right? It is a fallacy to think that you are going to buy Pico bottom and that you're going to sell Pico top. Even traders, and I'm good at top signals. I am good on wicks, especially I'm specialized in wicks because I TA on wicks. So I will freaking push it to a wick and get a max gain, right?
mm-hmm,
But I also learned this for years. So people coming in, it's very obvious in the chart. I should have bought here, and then I sell right here, and then you're gonna buy, and then somehow the chart does not move like you thought it was gonna move. Right? The
mm-hmm,
dip keeps dipping, right? And that's more usual than not, because when you are in the first time in crypto, or when you're not experienced as a trader, don't then try to be a trader. Learn first, right? Do some paper trading first. It's fun to do. Yeah, go to Mona and get some test tokens. Go do some paper trading. It's fun, and it also you're gonna it's not gonna have an emotional attachment, so you can buy and sell whatever you want, right? And you'll learn how to do that then. But it's a fallacy to think that you are going to sell that Pico top, because what happens at the top is that the one with the biggest wallet drops a candle down, especially low cap plays, right? And you see that price is down immediately 20%. You should have sold already on the pump, all
mm-hmm,
right? Do not wait for that red candle, especially on Solana, because when that red candle, it freaks people out, other people start selling, and before you know it, your bag is just worth half of what it was, and you never sold on that pump, right? Isn't that stupid? So even I don't care where that thing goes, where that green candle goes. I'm just selling on the pump little by little, with most at the top. So I start with 10%, right? Get some
mm-hmm.
money back. All right, 20%, pumping harder. All right, 30%, and then and then half of what I have left. and then another half, and then I just wait. And you made profit. For sure you made profit, you know. Stop
Mm-hmm.
trying to call that top, because when things are in price discovery, that's going to be difficult. You don't know. Nobody knows where the top is. The top is being called in by the market makers who are painting the chart. They call the top, not you, right?
Mm.
So you got to be in that pump selling,
Yeah.
and then you're always in profit. And who cares if that profit is going to be 50% more? Your liquidity is out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be happy with what you got and be profit maxi, right? Stop
Y-
trying to call these tops.
yeah. Yeah.
As soon as you let that go, trust me, and you strengthen that muscle, you're gonna be in profit. And who cares if it was gonna be 30% more?
Mm-hmm.
I make money. Is that not enough? Do you need to drive 100% of that back to a point that you don't know where it's gonna go, possibly leaving you with altogether nothing or half what you could have had if you would sell on the pumps like this?
Mm. Yeah.
All to gain 30% more? Really?
Right.
You're being a greedy little,
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
know. I know. I made these mistakes before,
I
you know.
can attest to that as well. As someone that regularly watches like
Yeah.
a couple of $100 go to 1,000 and just watch it slip through my fingers. Yep,
Yes.
yep,
Yes.
big one of that.
Yeah, because you're thinking in extremes. You're thinking pico bottom, pico top. You're thinking 100% of the bag, all or nothing, constantly. Go into the nuance. Sell a little. Oh, pumps more. Sell a little. Price always comes back for you, and it's sometimes more quickly than you think. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on the tugboat because I had my notes on it up on the screen. That is tugboat on SUI, and it is focused on accelerating decentralization of global economy by bringing traditional finance products such as mutual funds and ETFs to the blockchain, and then what's happened then? Decentralize it. So they're going to make it available for you. So the purpose of the tugboat is to bridge traditional finance, that what we call TradFi, and DeFi by tokenizing real-world financial assets, making them accessible on-chain. It envisions offering products like mutual funds and exchange trading funds (ETFs) in a decentralized, transparent manner, leveraging SUI's high throughput and low latency capabilities. So build on SUI. The core vision, Tugboat seeks to decentralize access to popular finance products, like so you can have your own little tugboat and lend it, turn it into an ETF, right? And put it into people's hands. So we got these things that are in the financial world, these assets, these ETFs, and these um, the oh God, I lost the word.
Hedge
Let's see.
funds. Hedge
Yes,
funds.
yes, 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 yes. And you can buy your own tugboat, which is kind of fun and bullish as it sounds, right? And it also integrates with SUI DeFi infrastructure, so DeepBook, right, and Scallop for that lending to enhance its offer. And so it's working together with those in order to provide you for having your own tugboat, so you can lend out your SUI in ETF format
Hmm.
and make money this way, right? Yeah.
So
So that's tugboat.
so
Yeah.
you lend. Let me see. It's a
You
lending
get
platform.
you buy. No, basically what it does is letting you have control over financial products, so you can personally have your tugboat that is providing ETFs with your SUI.
Huh.
So you can have your own personal tugboat, and that's why they call it tugboat, because you're tugging on a bigger boat,
Yeah.
right behind the bigger boat.
And
Yeah.
so the asset allocation, what do you allocate the assets? What are you pointing? You provide the liquidity for it?
Yes, basically. So Scallop is the lending protocol, and then we Deep is the. So you were talking about doll, right? Too, and
Uh-huh.
that is kind of all a little bit connected, but also not. So tugboat could be following up on something like deep, right, where they make it deflationary, or governments an incentive. So it's we got to just do a little more deeper dive to see what it's really about. But basically, the global idea is that it gives you the ability to put out ETFs with your tugboat, tugging behind the bigger boats, right? So the bigger boats being the financial sector being able to do that, but now you can do that personally with your own tugboat. Um, I know a few people of that team. Maybe I should invite them. Um, or I know at least somebody who's close to the team that might have a little bit more time to come and talk about it. I'm gonna make a note, right? So maybe we can get some alpha on that, because that could actually be not just you being able to do it, but projects can possibly access like a buy a tugboat as well, and
Mm-hmm.
then create an income for the token. Yeah. So if it's on the ecosystem, so yeah, I'm just writing that down. So maybe we get somebody in here soon if they have time to do so to talk about tugboat on Sui. Looks like something interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something that can potentially be very very bullish. So yeah, now let's move over to the Monad thing. So yeah, you guys, Monad Faucet, Monad XYZ, go there, milk your Monad, Monad milk, and get testing, right. Everybody who gets that net tested uh, is going to be rewarded with airdrops. So the more you're testing, the more you're minting, the more you're on there doing some stuff. And look, that could take a little bit of your time, and it's a lot of fun to do. You can buy some tokens, you can look into the D apps there that are being tested, and there's actually quite a few aren't there. Tick, very bullish, right.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to go after there. I'm gonna look up some more bullish stuff that we can do with these testnet tokens on that monad. And but yeah, just a reminder, everybody, you can get testnet tokens there for free. All you need is to have in your wallet 0.03 Ethereum, and you need to have 3 previous transactions with Ethereum having done with that wallet, and that makes you eligible. It's not costing you anything. It will leave the Ethereum where it is. I just think that they do that so not everybody can just make like 100 wallets and start, messing things up, and um, because that's people will do that, right? People will find a way to get more testnet tokens, and so I think they have that threshold a little bit in ETH. Your ETH will be going nowhere. It's just the eligibility is based upon it. So I think that's bullish, right? They want to deter it being taken advantage of. So yeah, grab your Monad testnet token and start testing. Of course, if you want to pull up the Dogecoin Dog website on the live stream, yeah,
Let's.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're doing a little clean.
Gotcha.
Yes, of
There we
course,
go.
you must have seen the Dogecoin Dogs now. There, of course, they're in this space, and you must have seen them on your timeline. And look, the floor is rising, right? I can tell you that much. Try and grab a dog before you can. At this point, each one of them is going to be bullish. But if you want to go ahead, you don't want to buy yet, and go ahead to the webpage and get yourself a starter dog. There is random giveaways too for the starter dogs, right? Just as much they're just as much loved as the NFTs, and they're actually a part of the success story of the Dogecoin dogs are these starter dogs. So much love over there. If you want to join the community and you're not sure, you just want to put your toe in the water, like I posted today, dip your toe in the water, then you can go ahead and change your profile picture and get some art for your banner and join the community anyway with a free starter dog. And then later on, you want to save up for a dog, or maybe you never want to buy a dog. You don't care. You're more than welcome, right, to board. There is, of course, that New York get together not too long from now, actually, and we're looking forward for all the content that rolls out of there. And of course, I can go, but I'm bullish on everybody who is, and they're gonna have a good time. And so yeah, that's the shill for the Dogecoin dogs. If you guys are interested in any of that, you can always DM me, or Lam is down there, on how to exactly do it. Tick is here, always helpful. We're going to help you out with your X account for your engagement. There's a lot of support that you get from being in a community of the Doginal dogs, right? And of course, you can also DM Meta X here.
Hey, good evening. I was
He's gonna
listening all
give
the
you the
time.
alpha. Good
I'm
evening.
trying to do some Saturday cleaning stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw you just pulling up these emojis.
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
what.
oh, you're here. Yeah, see, when I'm holding spaces more often than not, I'm not even looking down into the screen that often because I'm trying to read, look up stuff. People are DMing me in the background, right? It's like, what is
Yeah,
happening?
sure, I know that.
Right? So sometimes I'm looking down and somebody's Tick brought you on stage and then I forgot all about you. I hope you're having a great Saturday. Actually, I hope everybody has a great Saturday. I mean, it was kind of bearish that X was out again too, so that's why it might not be. Yeah, Fox, go ahead. Hands up. Yeah, I'm looking now.
Yep,
Hands up.
yep. Hi. Happy
Hello.
Saturday, everyone.
Yeah.
Happy Saturday, MetaX. And by the way, I'm also cleaning like you, brother. Just as Oada said at the beginning, just came back to London, and I'm cleaning out 9 by 9 by 9 meters of events equipment. But I think it's pretty therapeutic. It's also therapeutic to listen to Wilder, come here, listen to the Alpha, and yeah, just get the scoop, talk with all the people. So thanks for running the space, Wilder, as always, and we hope that you have a lovely Saturday as well.
Yes, absolutely, you guys. Of course, yes. Well, X being down kind of helped us, right? Because it's important to touch the grass, and I noticed a lot of engagement dropping and people just giving up, just like, hey, X is glitching again. It's weekend. Forget about it. A lot of projects were also not available for coming up at all, right? Busy building or busy touching the grass, and so let's look at the market one more time. One more time, we're gonna see if nothing's changed. Of course, so of course, I have the daily chart, so nothing changed. Yeah, no, we're hovering still. You guys remains the same. We're just cruising, right? We're cruising. There's actually now a buy signal coming in for me, a pre-buy signal. I call those on that half an hour. So yeah, let's have a look at a 3 hour. Always gives me a lot more alpha on Bitcoin. So it's kind of flurrying out on that RSI, and it just tells me there's not enough volume for now. But the setup still looks very much intact, right? So when volume comes in, it is going to make moves. However, we're looking at the 3 and the 4th hour, so that will be anywhere within 12 hours and 20 hours from now. Um, if we don't have that volume, that setup will be nullified, and then we're going to do some more retesting tomorrow, right? So, um, what are we looking at then? Then we're looking at that 106.8 yet again, right? So, kind of looks like, not gonna lie, kind of looks like price wants to magnetize a little bit towards these wicks. I always feel that the market wants to take out these buy zones. Let's look at the heat map actually to see if there is still, the market still wants to buy something there, still wants to add to the bag there, squeeze out some longs. And now it's kind of even Steven on the heat map. I don't see much difference of a pool there. But my gut, I've seen this before. My gut is kind of telling me, let's look at the daily candle for a close. Of course, it's going to be the weekly close now, tomorrow. And of course, last week, that was so bullish. I think that's even more something to look at. So we had that weekly close being bullish printed. It already printed 2 weeks before already. That buy signal came in because we're very bullish on the higher time frames. And when I'm talking about, sometimes I'm looking at that month of Bitcoin as well, just to see what candle it is going to print from May. And it looks like we're curling back up there in a golden cross. But when it does so on the monthly, it's anywhere between, let's say, 2, 3 to 5 months, and that puts us in quarter 4. Not right now. So I just spotted something here that I'm just gonna make a note and see that I need to sometimes look at that monthly for some alpha there to see what's going on. But if it crosses, right, we're gonna for sure pump in quarter 4. That would be A great prediction. So yeah, that weekly close, if we can get that weekly close above 109.5, then we are going to be so happy with that, because then we're closing above that previous all-time high wick, and then it will almost look like well, it's going to print like a very bullish candle again, right? And that would make the market look very, very bullish for the time to come. All of that is just going to be tomorrow. That's going to be tomorrow, you guys. So we're gonna have to wait for that. Meanwhile, we're gonna have fun because it's Saturday. I'm gonna just relax, touch the grass.
Yeah. What's the ticker?
What's the ticker tick?
XBT. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, thanks so much, you guys. Happy Saturday.
Sniping like a cat, and the Zoe is moving quickly. I'm the squeeze, and where they at? I'm trying to bring the Mimquins back. 1,000X is gonna land. I got him chilling in the back, and the gas fees are gonna slap. Where's the ticker? Where's it at?
Yes, thank you for joining again. I see you, Menex, Ram, Andro, Papa, Sholana, that KOLs. Follow each other, right? Be friends. It's weekend. Relax. Tick, some last words.
Thanks again, you guys. I'll see you next time.
Stay bullish.